Hi everybody. I wanted to give a little bit more information and explanation about the 8 workshops that Gretchen and I are offering this year, 2024. We're going to be doing one a month, and they're going to focus on the 8 gates of initiation. What is that? A lot of people keep asking me, what is that? They don't, and it doesn't really resonate. So I thought we'd give a little bit more info here. So the second half of life we decided to focus on because we realized that there are amazing benefits to aging, very counter to what we hear in our society. Our society wants to avoid it, go around it, fight it in all kinds of ways. And we thought, well, why are we doing all that? Aging is a wonderful time. There are so many benefits. And so we, through our own work and through our studies over the years, we have combined Jungian psychology with cultural anthropology, with indigenous folklore and story and teachings. And we were really inspired by the works of Angeles Arrien and Clarissa Pinkola Estes, who wrote amazing books, The Second Half of Life by Angeles Arrien, and Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. Both of these women were Jungian psychologists, cultural anthropologists, teachers at universities and respected institutions, and their work is so rich, and it all centers around the benefits and of aging and wisdom. So one of the things that we are definitely looking at are initiations. What is an initiation? An initiation is the capacity to learn something new, embody a lesson, and have the ability to share what we've learned with others. It's a life transition, basically. And even our culture, who is mostly very superficial, does offer these initiations, and we see it and we witness it when we go to a wedding, when we go to a graduation, even when we go to a funeral. And there's other initiations, but those are the main ones that I think we can all say we've either seen one or been a part of one. And these are all honoring and celebrating life transitions. In the second half of life, which can be anywhere from 40 to 100, we have this opportunity to build and recognize our true character. Character. What is that? Character is the embodiment of our soul's work. And through the embodiment of the soul's work, we begin to understand our wisdom. Hence, the name of our workshops are Unveiling the Wise Woman Within. So when we're looking at character development, there's 3 main components. There's generativity, which is the ability to continue learning and growing. And this learning and growing creates a legacy. It's something that we pass on to our descendants, to our communities, to our students, to our family, to our friends. And it doesn't necessarily mean we have to teach them, but it is something that we offer. We offer it. We become the mentors. We become the wisdom keepers. And what can we share with others? What can we share that we've learned through our multiple decades on this planet? It's rich, and it's not something a 20-year-old can offer. It's not something even a 30-year-old can offer. It's something that we learn and grow through over time. There's no shortcut. ChatGPT is not going to give you this. You have to physically experience it. And that's generativity. And in the second half of life, we have to ask ourselves, how do we continue to learn and grow? And when we do this, and we do it with joy and vigor, it brings energy into our life, so that when we are in the second half of life, we're not sitting waiting for the train to come to take us to our death. There's also intimacy. That is a really huge component of character development, because intimacy is the practice of removing blocks that foster connection. And this usually happens through self-trust, self-love. How are we creating connection in our community, in our relationships, whether it be with our children, our family, our friends, our work, our associations, our organizations? How do we show up? Are we authentically ourselves, or are we just wearing masks, going through each interaction, just trying to survive, trying to look good? Recently, I heard Daniel Kaluuya, and he said something to the effect of his acting has changed because he let go of being good and great, and now he's just honest. And that honesty you can feel in his work. You know, you get really involved and connected to his character. And the same happens for us. And in the second half of life, we are able to drop those ideas of needing to be great and perfect. And when we embody our own authenticity, people feel it. And people gravitate towards that, which allows us to be in community, which allows us to foster one of the most important things that all humans wish to have, and that is a sense of belonging. So intimacy creates belonging. Intimacy is a part of character development. The third thing we look at in these workshops is creativity. You know, what environments have we built around us that allow us to remain creative? And creativity can be anything that we build, anything that we try that's new, anything that we bring out into the world. How are we creating in alignment with our soul's work? And so these are kind of the questions we ask, and we have these exercises and rituals that we will be working with our groups to really get a sense, not just hear about these ideas of character development through initiation, but how do we feel it in our body? Where have we experienced it in our past? What challenges have we gone through that we now have this new understanding that gives us peace, that knows that we can make it, that builds our courage? And courage is really the ability to move through challenges, to move through new things, to move through adversity without the need to blame or judge, even ourselves and others. So as we walk through these 8 gates, we create a space where we can look within, where we can see our true nature, to see where we have grown, to see where we have been, and now gather all that up and use it with strength and excitement and adventure into the next phases, into the next things that we're doing. And we did the first gate already. We did the silver gate, which is all about birth. It's about generating something new. You know, if you find in your life you've moved, you've become part of a new community, you have a new career, you have a new job, or maybe your kids left the house and now you have this new way of being, that is all silver gate stuff. You don't just need to be a baby to walk through a silver gate. It is about new things happening. And in the second half of life, we get to look at, well, how are we going to walk through it this time? How are we going to feel courage as we embark upon something new? Maybe it's retirement. You know, it doesn't have to be feared, and it doesn't have to be the end, you know, just now I'm just waiting for death to come upon my doorstep. This can be a very exciting time. So our next workshop is going to be about the white picket fence gate. And this is really going to look at how we have changed throughout our lives and what masks we've worn to get through the next thing in life. And how can we let those masks go and walk through with our full authenticity? And ultimately, when we do that, we have peace. We have joy. You know, life is full of pain, life is full of challenge. But now in the second half of life, we have these amazing tools that we receive through experience. Experience can never be taken away from you. Wisdom can never be removed from you. Even if somebody comes and calls you names and flips you off in the car, your wisdom can still remain and come forward. So we hope that these 8 gates of initiation will offer you clarity, will give you a sense of generativity and creativity, will give you the awareness of where you've been and where you want to go, and let all that fear that blocks us be removed just through this beautiful process of awareness. So we thank you, and we hope that you reach out if you have any other questions. If this is sounding like something that might be wonderful, but you're still not quite sure, please reach out to Gretchen or I, and we'd love to answer any questions. So with that, we wish you all the best as you enter the second half of life.